flint and steel. This here steel would be made by a blacksmith, and it's strong and it is used to create friction when it hits against this piece of stone called flint. Now, you can't just rub them together as such and get a spark, but if you were to knock them together over and over again, you'll see that there'll be little bits of sparks that form. And those sparks are really pieces of the steel that are being shaved off. That's why it's a little more shiny on the end here. Now, a spark like that isn't enough to create a fire like the one I've had going. Instead, you would need to take and hold on to that spark by using a piece of what we call charcloth. You would place that piece of cloth on top of your piece of flint, taking your steel and knocking against the piece of flint until your little spark catcher, that charcloth, ends up holding it long enough so that you can transfer it to a larger piece of fuel. So speaking of fuel, there's really three things that fire needs. It needs heat, it needs fuel, and it needs oxygen. So when I strike this and it then catches onto the piece Okay, so here I've just used some friction, which was some heat, to catch onto a small piece of fuel. I then transfer this piece of fuel to a larger piece of fuel, which is a nest that I've made out of rope. I place it inside, and then we have oxygen that we need to use. So we're going to blow onto the nest until it manages to catch. Once it catches, I'll then place it inside of the fire, which will be in the fireplace, along with some larger fuel, so that then I can have a nice warm fire for the rest of the day. 100% cotton. In this case, it is blue jeans. We cut up old jeans, and it does have to be 100% cotton. And we place them, once they've been cut into a small square, we place them inside of a tin that we have put a hole in the top of. So what we're doing when we do that is placing several pieces in, popping the top on, and then putting the tin into the fire. When it is in the fire, you're going to have a flame that shoots out the top as the gases release inside, and it may even shoot out from the sides of the tin. Now, we wait for the flame to extinguish, and meanwhile, the pieces of blue jeans that are inside are going through pyrolysis, which is a transformation where it creates char. It does not burn them up, but instead it blackens the cloth and makes it so it's very fragile and can tear easily, but it is also something that can grab hold of that spark very easily so that you can transport it to a larger piece of fuel, such as the rope that then goes to the wood shavings, that goes to the smaller pieces of kindling, and then getting up to our large logs to have our large fire. So again, the process is called pyrolysis, and it happens inside of a tin, which we carefully put into the fire and out of the fire using tongs, and that is what we keep dry, is the pieces of charcloth, and keep it with us so that we can then have our fire starting.
Stay safe, stay warm, stay free.
What is it?
Say,
What is it?
hey, why it's Buttercup. Popcorn, add sweet cream butter to hot popcorn. Mix it up, wrap it up, Buttercup is born.
It's delicious.
So nutritious.
It's a taste delight.
It's so munchy,
Crisp and crunchy.
you'll enjoy each bite. Eat butter-drenched Buttercup, popcorn at its best.
Served in a king-size cup.
It beats all the rest.
Gentlemen, there is no longer any ground for hope. If we wish to be free, if we wish to preserve inviolate those inestimable privileges which belong to us as free men, if we mean not basely to abandon the noble struggle in which we have been so long engaged, in which we have pledged ourselves never to abandon until the glorious object of our struggle be obtained, then we must fight. I repeat it, sir. We must fight! The appeal to arms and to the God of hosts is all we have left us.
Arms, Mr. Henry. What arms? We're weak, sir.
They tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with so powerful an adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be the next week? Or the next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed and a British Guard shall be stationed in every house? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance by lying supinely on our backs, hugging the delusive phantom of hope until our enemy hath bound us hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak if we make a proper use of those means the God of nature hath placed in our power. 3 millions of people, armed in the holy cause of liberty, and in such a country that which we possess, are invincible by any force our enemy can send against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone. There is a just God who presides over the destinies of nations, who will raise up friends to fight our battles for us. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, sirs, we have no election. Should we be base enough to desire it, it is now already too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat, but in submission and slavery. Our chains are forged, their clanking may be heard upon the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat it, sir, let it come!
Mr. Henry, please speak for peace, sir.
It is in vain to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war is actually begun. The next gale that blows from the north shall bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it that they wish? What would they have? Is life so dear? Or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God! I know not what course others may take. But as for me, give me liberty! Oh, give me death!